Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Welcome to our second concert this year. Woohoo! We're not just a one-hit wonder here. This is very exciting. This is a second concert in not just any year, but this is our centennial year. For those of you who didn't know, this is the 100-year celebration of our orchestras and our instrumental music program here at Heights High. As you may remember, we were supposed to have a centennial event that would have happened last Saturday. So no, I'm just kidding, you weren't supposed to be there. But we had to cancel that. We were just concerned about making sure that we could have it when more people could attend. So we are planning on that event happening next fall. So we can look for that then when hopefully, we can do even more gathering, even more cool stuff, and we're even further along than we are today. But hey, let's remember, we're all in person, we're learning, and we're having concerts, so that is definitely an improvement over last year. Just a couple reminders. Please, please, please turn off your cell phones, or please silence the sounds on your cell phones at this time if you haven't done so already. Hopefully this was a helpful reminder to at least a few of you. And also, we thank you for social distancing here in the hall. Obviously, you can stay together in your family groups, but we want to try and make sure that everybody is safe. During the first part of the program, we are going to have some students coming down to sit in the first 3 rows of this side bank here, as well as this side bank here. So I'm just going to ask you, if you are in the first few rows, if you wouldn't mind either moving back or moving into the center, we'd appreciate it. Thank you so much. And in a moment, you can welcome out the 8th Period Concert Orchestra. We hope you enjoy the program. Thank you so much. So that first piece, Wexford Circle, is a great opportunity for us to really practice on developing our tone production. I think you can agree this sound of this group, they look maybe small, but they are mighty in sound. It's a really, really wonderful sound they're creating out here. And for this next piece, Gaelic Castle, Sunni Newbold was inspired by castles throughout Great Britain, and also the festivals that they would often hold. So she was trying to capture a little bit of that feel in this piece. One of the other things that this piece is really good for in terms of practicing skills is really getting a variety of dynamics and a little bit more rhythmic independence in the group. So we hope you enjoy Gaelic Castle. So that first piece, The Ascent, was really a great way for us to just come out and play with lots of energy, get some good articulation going. Again, also work on some big sound. This next piece is a huge contrast and really, I think, sort of extends the orchestra's skill in terms of just being able to really play with an entirely different musical character, be really demonstrating sensitive musicianship. And so I couldn't be prouder of how they're doing this. I hope you enjoyed this piece, Snowfall at Dusk. And how about that snow? We've been having a lot of it recently, right? So just the right time of year for a piece like this. This last piece, Flambeau, I thought it was probably best if I actually take a little time to read what the composer wrote in here. This is actually a reference to Mardi Gras, which begins on March 1st this year. So we're coming up on it. It's not quite there, but it's coming. And the Flambeau were the torchbearers in the annual night parades during Mardi Gras. They provided the only illumination for the floats in the days before street lights. Modern flambeaux, as the composer says, carry on this tradition, trudging down the streets with their heavy naphtha-fueled torches. Has anybody here ever been to New Orleans for Mardi Gras? No one? Oh, okay. I haven't either, so I'm looking forward to maybe seeing it someday. So this piece depicts that procession of the flambeau with these tremolos that you'll hear in the violins. Some of these percussive effects, you're going to hear something that we refer to as col legno, or hitting the strings with the stick of the bow, okay? And some interesting melodies that sort of lumber on like the torchbearers in the night. So we hope you enjoy Flambeau. Before this group's going off stage, I want to also make a quick mention. Thank you to Joseph Ferguson, who stepped in also to play with the bass section. We appreciate it. We're now going to have the concert orchestra from second period go off stage, take seats over here. And then we're going to do a bit of a stage change. This is also a great time to hear from our BOPO volunteers. So go ahead, everybody in this group, you can now leave the stage. We're going to do a little bit of stage construction here. Thank you. So right now we're going to have a little change in terms of groupings. We're going to have a couple of chamber groups come up here. We're so happy that this year, for the first year in a number of years, we're able to restart our chamber music program and have smaller groups work after school as well. They earn credit for this. And so this can go towards graduation. But these two groups that we're going to hear from, these two strings groups, they were both coached by Mr. Stu Ferris, who you've seen up here. He's playing, he's helping. He's also done some arranging, which we'll get to a little bit later in the program. But he is someone who we are so grateful to have working here with the students. So a big round of applause for Mr. Stu Ferris. So the first group that's going to come out here, the Nickel Dime Duo, is a play on their last name, the Nickel sisters here. Natalie and Emily will be playing a duo by Mazas, who was a famous French violinist, studied at the Paris Conservatoire, and was known for writing a bunch of violin etudes, some of which make violinists swear a lot, but nonetheless, it's really important stuff, good learning material. And in addition, they also, Mazas wrote a number of duos for strings of all different levels. And so we're fortunate to hear one of those duos tonight, played by the Nickel Dime Duo. So without further ado, come out on stage. That's right, you can clap. meow. I have 3 cats at home, so I can do that. This next group is called the Cat Burglars, and apparently this is due to something that is sort of an inside joke between Mr. Ferris and the quartet players, so you'll have to talk to them about it afterwards. They were talking about a particular part of this music. But this quartet that they're about to play is from a part of a series of 6 string quartets that Mozart wrote when he was on a trip to Milan for the premiere of his opera Lucio Silla, okay? And just so happens that he started this journey when he was 16 years old, the premiere of his opera in Milan, right? So we're all doing it at 16. And then he just was on his way to this thing and says, you know, I'm kind of bored. There are no cat videos to watch. So what am I going to do? I guess I'll just write some string quartets. So he wrote these 6 quartets. The one that you're going to hear, he wrote just after he turned 17, all right? So the question is, what were you all doing at 17? What was I doing when I was 17? So anyway, a really, really wonderful piece of music going to be performed by the Cat Burglars. Please welcome them to the stage. So at this time, we're going to bring out the Heights High Symphony strings. And we are doing a large part of this program together with the Cavani String Quartet. We're going to start out with a piece without them, and then they will come out and join us. But what this process has done for us has brought us to a lot of chamber music playing as a group, a lot of playing without conductor. So for the rest of the program, you're going to see us perform without a conductor. So I'm going to bring out the symphony, and we'll get set up here in just a moment. Thank you. So this piece that we're going to play, I usually try and just come out and have us play our music straight away, but I felt like this piece does need some introduction. The composer Joseph Boulogne, Chevalier de Saint-Georges, okay, I pronounced that horribly, I'm sure, but nonetheless, he was the illegitimate son of a French plantation owner and an enslaved African Guadeloupean woman. He was an extraordinary figure, someone who we're finding out more and more about. His story is quite diverse in terms of the things that he did. Even across the pond, John Adams from America was quoted as saying he's the most accomplished man in Europe in riding, shooting, fencing, dancing, and music. And particularly as a fencer, that is how he received his title Chevalier de Saint-Georges from his father, who was also an exquisite fencer. Boulogne's music is still being discovered a lot. He was an extraordinary violinist, and he also wrote a number of pieces. He was also concertmaster in a number of groups in France and elsewhere. And it seems to be likely that when Mozart traveled to Paris in 1788, that he probably heard some of Boulogne's music. In fact, Boulogne was so interested in writing a particular kind of music, what's called a sinfonia concertante, where a couple of instrumentalists are featured with an orchestra, that Mozart seemed to be inspired to write his own very famous one for violin and viola. And there are hints that some of the things that Mozart wrote in there actually came from listening to Boulogne's music. We're very excited to play this piece because it hasn't been played a lot. In addition, we are incredibly indebted to the hard work of Mr. Ferris to arrange this for a string orchestra. It's originally for strings, plus 2 oboes and 2 horns. But I think once you listen to it, you'll agree it works really well just for strings. So please enjoy Joseph Pollone's Sinfonia No. 2. All right, so then in this next portion of the program, we're very fortunate to be able to do some collaborations with the Cavani String Quartet. We have two pieces we're going to play with them. And so I'm going to talk just a little bit about the first one. The first piece is a piece by Joshua Henderson called A Bop for Bridge. It was written for the Cavani String Quartet for their Beyond Beethoven a Beethoven quartet cycle that they've been doing around town ever since the fall. It culminated in a performance we did with them December 14th at Severance Music Center in the Mandel Concert Hall. We had about 100 students and directors all playing together with them these two pieces. It was really exciting. And this piece by Josh Henderson, African-American composer in New York, and violinist, fantastic young man. He was inspired to write this piece by the British-born violinist George Bridgetower of African descent. And George Bridgetower was very famous as a violinist. In fact, he was the original person to whom Beethoven dedicated his Kreutzer Violin Sonata. He'd actually dedicated it to Bridgetower first. But then the two of them got into an altercation later on, and Beethoven decided he would change the dedication. Bridgetower, who was a brilliant violinist, ended up later penniless at the end of his life, but he was truly an amazing fiddle player. So this piece, A Bop for Bridge, is a connection between Beethoven and Bridgetower, and something that was originally written for this Beethoven quartet cycle. So we're really excited to be able to play it for you here again. And I'm going to invite now out on stage the Cavani String Quartet. As you can see, we're having a lot of fun up here. And so we're looking forward to playing this next piece as well, which is really a lot of fun. In fact, there are hardly any other pieces that are probably more fun to play as a group. So this piece right here is the finale of Beethoven's third quartet in a series dedicated to Count Razumovsky. And many parts of this quartet are actually, in hindsight, seem to be dedicated also to one of Mozart's string quartets, or several of Mozart's string quartets. This last one starts with what's called a fugue, which is very similar to one of Mozart's famous string quartets, one of his famous Haydn quartets. So we hope you enjoy this. This is a lot of fun.
I just want you to join me once with a round of huge thunderous applause, like basketball game, Olympics worth applause for these young people and their amazing teachers, Daniel Heim and Stu Ferris, because there's a lot of love that goes into what's happening up here. So please, wild thunderous applause.
I think our BOPO parents, hold on, Cavani, hold on a second. I think our BOPO parents would like to bring something up to thank you all for your help with us, your collaboration with us. So Pam, Barbara, if you're out there, a little something from us, from Heights, and something that's a piece of us. We all signed it up here. Thank you so much for coming to work with us and give so much of your time and talent and love for music to all the students. We really, really appreciate it. Let's give a round of applause for the Cavani Quartet.
I have known Annie for several years, and I'm so happy that you brought the Cavanis. Thank you so much for coming and bringing your affection and your love of music. What a joyful concert. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And one of the other places I see Annie is in Zagara's, and I thought, well, well, why not have some of our reusable grocery bags?
Always. Thank you.
The kids accidentally graffitied it for you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wait, they each, there's a name on it.
Oh, there's names on it.
Yeah, this is Eric. Did you want to say something, Bruce? That's for you. Thank you, thank you. Okay.
All right.
Thank you again.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
That was great. It was fast.
Yeah, it was. So at this time, I am going to rapidly ask the following people from the two concert orchestras over here to come up. We're going to start with our viola players, our bass players, and our second violin players. So all of you come up on stage with your instruments. Bass players, grab your instruments in the back and find your places. We're coming together for one final combined number. And now that I have those players up here, let's have the cellists come on up on that side, and the first violins come up here as well. Everybody take your places. So as we were playing the concert with the Cavanis at Severance Hall, I was particularly moved by something that Annie Fillard said before they played one of the pieces on that program. And it really made me also kind of bring a special connection to the piece you're about to hear. During this past 2 years, it's hard to believe that we've been living with this phenomenon called COVID for 2 years. We've had a lot of challenges. We've had a lot of struggles. We've had some triumphs too. But I think one of the things that has been hard is that it has brought out a tremendous amount of struggle for many of us, and it's revealed in a lot of ways some of the ways in which we may feel broken. And so this particular song, I feel, has some power in that sense because it's about acknowledging that brokenness that we all have in one way or another, but also that we can lift each other up. And I'm hoping that some of what we do, what we've done tonight, and what we continue to do helps to heal some of that brokenness for you and for us. And so we're going to do this last number, Fix You, as performed by Coldplay. Orson Thayer Hansen on drums, everybody. Take a bow, everybody, one more time. Thank you so much, everybody. We appreciate you coming out. We thank you for the love tonight, and we hope you have a great night. We're sorry we can't have a reception with you, but maybe we can do something outdoors in the spring. What do you think? Yeah? All right. Meanwhile, have a wonderful night. Thank you so much. Get home safe, stay safe and healthy, and we look forward to seeing you next time.